Hi guys, are you ready for another love inspection? In today's case, we are analyzing a divorce court case where the couple has been together for 7 years, married for 1 year and 3 months, and they are having 2 children together, and her accusations are just on point. Listen to the first thing she says.
Ms. Sims, why don't you tell me why we're here today?
I'm here today because I feel that my husband has been cheating on me.
Oh, man. Hold on.
Wait, no. I'll give you that opportunity to respond. Why don't you tell me why you think he's cheated on you?
Well, first it started off with like text messages inside of his phone, messages on Facebook to other
What did they
girls.
say?
He was sitting there talking about how he wanted to wine and dine them, how sexy they are, how beautiful and stuff. He had some stripper girl that he was messaging, and she sent me messages with him telling her that I was just his best friend with benefits, his roommate, and that, we weren't in a relationship. I've had my neighbors tell me that they caught him in the back of my house having sex with another girl while me and the kids were upstairs sleeping.
At the back of the house?
In the back of the house, yes, Your Honor.
And the accusations keep pouring. Tag your it, mister. What is the truth? Cause sneaky text and not claiming your girlfriend? That is some big old red flag. His answer? Complete denial, as you're going to see.
In the back
Let
of
me
the
give
house.
Mr. Sims an opportunity to respond. Did any of that occur?
I'm a family man. We got basically 6 kids together, with the kids.
Between relationships and all that, yeah.
I'm a loving guy. She's beautiful. None of this never occurred. She never seen none of this. Now, before, when she talked about strippers and stuff, that was before we was married. I know that was wrong. And wine and dining stuff with the friends of benefit, that was probably the
What
first.
about the butt dial
the first
3 weeks
week.
ago?
What happened with the butt dial 3 weeks ago?
I am genuinely curious as to what is going to happen. My supposition is that he butt dialed her, and she heard something that shouldn't have been heard by her. But let's see what happens and how this whole drama unfolds.
He went to the store, and when he went to the store, he ended up pocket dialing me. And when he pocket dialed me, I heard him sitting there talking to another girl, telling her how sexy and beautiful she was, and how he had to go over there and holler at her, and how he wanted to take her out, and he has the weekends off and stuff, and that they needed to get together. And I ended up getting in my truck and trying to get down to where he was. But by the time he got back to the house and he was trying to tell me, oh, it was an old friend, I don't care if it's an old friend. You don't talk to me like that. So why are you telling another woman
Yes,
how
I do.
beautiful and sexy she is?
Mr. Sims, what's your response to that?
That is true, but I flirt with everybody. But that's
No, he
it.
does not.
Now, that was an old friend, so I told her you still look good for your age and stuff.
Guys, what do you think? Because I believe that he's simply making excuses at this point. I mean, I'm sorry to interrupt this, but cheating is not only physical. There's also emotional cheating, and telling someone else how sexy they are and how good they look and whatever, without, without being friendly. Like, okay, you've got a great outfit today. That is called friendly. But if you are saying, look, you have such a great body and you are sexy tonight and I wish you could meet more, and so on and so forth, I mean, that's clearly flirting. And you're not flirting with everyone, because I mean, if you're flirting with everyone, then you're just a man whore at this point. I'm sorry, but that is wrong, especially if your wife does not get the same treatment. And Judge Lynn's response is on point though, and she's putting him in his place. So let's hear her out.
Weekends, we can hang out. It wasn't none of that. Nothing past that, man.
Well, so it's your contention that since you've been married,
Yep.
we're going to give you the whole dating period, but since you've been married,
Yep.
you haven't cheated on
No,
her at all.
not
You
at
haven't
all.
had
Your Honor,
sex
he
with
tells
another
me-
woman?
Your Honor,
No.
he tells me all the time.
Hang on, let him
No.
finish. Okay.
Haven't even kissed the girl, no.
Nothing.
Nothing.
You may have flirted, but you're not touching nothing.
Not touching. I can touch this all day when I want.
Ms.
Your Honor,
Sims,
every time we get into a fight, he's always telling me that he has the next girl next door. He's
And
always
she
telling me
believes,
that
Your Honor, she believes all this. That's why I do it.
But Mr. Sims,
You hear her? Next door, backyard.
Mr. Sims, let me tell you something, what that does to a person.
Mm-hmm.
When you have an argument, no matter what it's about, she's going to say, I'm going to rip your world apart because we're not getting along.
Mm-hmm.
So when you tell somebody that, it's a very small thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any daughters?
Yes.
Woe be unto them should they run into a man like you.
You.
Josh Toller said a powerful thing today, and that is that a child will also pick up on their parents' habits. So obviously, if he keeps flirting with everyone and disrespecting his children's mother, obviously the children will become the same or will seek or perceive treatment like that as being normal, which is clearly not. So, good thing for Josh Toller that he put him into his place. Now, I'm curious to see what his response will be after this. What incidents will happen, and what will be the final decision? Will they split up? Will they not?
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't do to her what you wouldn't want some dude to do to them. That's low. You got that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Sims, why do you think we're in divorce court today?
She doesn't trust me. She's like my mother or a warden. I gotta print out my timestamps when I leave work. It shouldn't take you 40 minutes to get from here to here. You're at the strip club. I can't even hang out with my friends. She thinks there's a million women over there.
Now, what I do like about Josh Toller is that she always gives each party a time to respond, and she's being very clear about this stuff. And even though he's clearly a walking red flag, I would say we should hear his story as well, because some of the red flags that we seem to look for in people are triggered by our own red flags, our own behavior, our own problems. So we should hear them out. But he says he says he feels he can be trusted, and I mean, funny, right? Because I mean, she has all the reasons not to trust him when he goes out in public and flirts with everyone, as he very much said. So let's see what he says next.
You don't come home until 5, 6 o'clock in the morning the next day when you get out of work at 11:30 at night. That's
Yeah.
not acceptable. You're a married man.
Does that happen on occasion?
No.
Or does that happen a lot?
A lot.
No, once in a while.
A lot?
And if she's texting me while I'm at work trying to do my job, then I'll go stay out the night. But it's not like I'm doing anything that would jeopardize our marriage.
Now let's talk about nightlife. Well, the thing is, after you get married, there are priorities. You should have a list of priorities. You don't necessarily need to shift immediately, but if you like to party, if you like to go out, involve your partner into that. That is a good way of maintaining your own lifestyle or at least be able to transition into a much quieter lifestyle, right? By including your favorite person into those activities. So if you like to party, if you like to dance, if you like to go out shopping, you should include your partner into that activity, or at least ask them if they want to be included. Uh, because if you don't, you'll be looking like this man. Pretty damn sus. Next, a ring flushed down the toilet is threatening their relationship and their marriage. Watch until the end to see how wretched this case actually becomes.
All righty. You say he flushed his ring down the toilet. Tell me, how did that happen?
Your Honor, this was like the final straw when we ended up separating. I ended up having him leave after this, but he was drunk and he was calling me a whole bunch of names. I was leaving him alone. I was inside the room. All of a sudden, next thing you know, he just starts cussing at me, calling me all nasty names and stuff.
Hang on, I'm
So
gonna get to you.
finally, I ended up coming to my breaking point, and I ended up lashing back out at him, and I ended up, talking my cussing words back to him and stuff. And that's when he sat there and said, I don't need you. I don't want you, and took the ring off and went inside the bathroom and said, this is exactly what you mean to me, and flushed it down the toilet.
Mr. Sims, what's your version of that event?
That is true. I did flush the ring down the toilet. I felt bad after I did it because I could have pawned it and got money for it. So, I mean, but it was over not disciplining the kids. The kids, how I was brought up with a Southern upbringing and stuff. You show respect to adults. So,
Right.
Okay, we need to back out a little bit. We need to pause for a minute because this man lacks self-awareness so much so that he Actually, oh my god, I can believe that he did this. A good person is always self-aware and knows when to get back down from a fight, knows to control their anger, knows when it's not productive to fight about things. He doesn't, and that's why his only response was lashing out and honestly to tell someone that uh don't mean as much as they should to them, that they mean as much as a ring flushed down the toilet. That's nasty, that's cruel, and that's teaching their children not to have any respect towards their partners, their future partners, because they are, again, I'm going to emphasize this, they are going to mirror their parents' behavior, and Judge Toller actually reminds him of this. So let's hear her out.
I'm trying to, talk to him, and
How
then
do you expect the
basically
kids to
she's
have respect?
defending him.
Mr. Sims, I mean, you're shooting yourself in the foot on that one. If you're trying to show them how to have respect and then you disrespect her and you curse and you carry on and you throw things down the toilet, all of which are actions that you wouldn't want your children to take because they're childish and ridiculous and expensive and hurtful.
I'm not perfect.
Why would you do that? Now, I'm not asking you to be perfect, but I mean, get off
All right.
zero.
Next, we're actually going to find out the real reason she might actually want to stay with someone like that. A little bit of context: she's ill. She's undergoing chemotherapy. She's a fighter, a survivor, but in order to survive, you need emotional support and the support group. Technically, it's the husband that should play that role, but clearly he does not provide that. So let's see what Josh Toller has to say about this situation.
Gee whiz.
you.
Gee whiz. Now, I understand, though, and I do want to make this term because I think it's very important. You are ill. You have
Yes.
been diagnosed with cancer.
Yes.
You're undergoing chemotherapy.
Yes, I am.
You say that Mr. Sims is less than supportive with respect to that. So I want to talk to you a little bit about, where you are, how you're doing, and why you feel Mr. Sims is not supportive in your fight.
I got diagnosed again for the second time with stage 1 stomach cancer in August, a couple of weeks after my birthday, which was like right around the time me and him ended up separating. And I ended up starting my chemotherapy. I've been going through it by myself. I haven't had like support from him or really anybody but his cousins.
What?
Who took care of me. A few weeks ago, I went to go spend the weekend with him when we were still separated, and I was throwing up like excessively, and I couldn't control it. I was like in the bathroom for like over an hour. His cousin ended up coming to give me a pot and got me comfortable out inside the living room and was giving me ice packs and stuff to put on the back of my neck. And here he comes, drunk, as always, sitting there telling me, "You're so disgusting. Can't you go in another room with that? That's nasty. You're disgusting."
Mr. Sims, please tell me that's not true.
No.
Okay, I'm just enraged at the nerve of this man, and I'm enraged at her for staying with him for as long as she has. I mean, for real now. All she needed was a hug or a sign of appreciation, of affection, and instead, what does she get? She gets being called disgusting for having stomach cancer. Hell no, run, baby, run, please, from this type of people, this type of insensitive people. I mean, it's one thing to have an argument or anything like that, or I don't know, calling each other names, even though that's not okay either. But it's in human nature to get angry at some point, to not know how to manage your emotions, and there's a whole other thing to call someone disgusting for having cancer. That's that should have rang a bell for her, in her head should have been an alarm sign, something to tell her that she is not okay with him. We're midway through this case, and all he's made is a bunch of excuses. So I expect that to be as well over here. But let's hear him out.
Man, Your Honor, no,
Yes.
no.
Do you recall the incident?
Yes, but she
Well,
likes.
how did it go? How do you say it went?
How I seen it go was she was throwing up. My cousin did do that, but I did say, you should just go to the bathroom. Sometimes when she is sick, with me being the only person that works and stuff, I do feel I can't, I should be a little more, have more sympathy or try and console her more, but I can't get sick because that's where the income's coming from. So
You can't catch cancer like a cold.
no, I didn't say cancer. Now, cancer, that's different.
But you're saying
But
I
that's
can't get sick. Why can't you?
No, I mean, Your Honor, I mean when she has like regular other colds, but with the cancer, I'm always at work when she goes to do her treatments and stuff. That's the times I guess she can go where I haven't.
When you come home, are you supportive? Are you behind her? How you feeling? Can I get you something? Am I there? Do you hold her? Do you tell her it's gonna be all right? Anything?
Not the holding part, but when I come home, most of the time she's asleep, and when I come into the house after working 8-10 hours, I usually just walk into a dirty house, with everything, dishes all over the place. Now I can't even get her a home-cooked meal, and she wants me to hold her.
I'm holding a moment of silence until my rage dies out for this man, because on top of that insensitive comment that he made that cancer is gross for some odd reason, he feels like he's entitled to come home to a clean house. Get your ass out there and prepare something for her. When she is down, you gotta step up. You got to be a man. That is what being a man is. To be able to provide when the other person cannot. Not to expect things be done because you're the man or whatever. Gee, I wouldn't expect that from anyone. Much less from someone who is sick. God damn it.
Shame on her.
And she wants me
for
to hold her?
going to chemotherapy,
Oh,
having
man.
her guts wrenched out. Shame on her that she can't get up off there, stop throwing up long enough to make you a meal. Who are you?
Well, I'm supposed to
I
be.
mean, it's just sad. I mean, your very presence it saddens me.
Damn, Judge Dollar isn't holding her back anymore. And for real, he needs to be put in place. Just saying.
The scope of your love and the breadth of you have no grace.
No, I do.
You have no kindness.
I don't have
You're coming
kindness.
up late.
No, he doesn't.
No,
It's just like when I had the
that's just
miscarriages.
wholly- yeah. Ooh. If you were sick, wouldn't you expect her to do for you?
She does. No, she does, Your Honor. I'll tell you that. She does.
Oh, I'm sure she does.
She does.
I'm sure she does, because she's a good person.
Yes,
I'm
she is.
asking you,
Yes,
Doesn't
she's a
that
great
embarrass you at all? That you have a woman going through something that's earth-shattering, and you not coming in like Superman a little bit?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
I mean,
you're right. You're right.
This case is gut-wrenching. And it's gut-wrenching because I don't know who to be mad at more. I would be mad at her, but she's going through all of that stuff, and she's alone, without a family, and I bet her self-confidence, her self-esteem is low, but he just uses that to his advantage somehow. I mean, his own family is better at taking care of her than him, the one that's supposed to love and care for her no matter what. And as if this was not enough insensitivity packed in the last 3 minutes, the list continues. The incidents continue. The excuses continue. Who are you? Who are you as a man to be so insensitive? Who are you as a person to be this mind-blowingly bad to the core? And yes, as if having cancer and taking care of a drunken kid as a husband, she also went through 2 miscarriages. Was he there for her? Take your best guess while we hear the rest of the story.
Like Mighty Mouse.
You're right.
What's up with that?
Hey. Hey, I guess that's why I'm here,
I understand you had 2 miscarriages.
Yes, I did. Before
And
we
you
had
say he
our
wasn't
son.
supportive during those either.
What?
No, he was not.
Oh, man.
No, he
I
was
wasn't?
not. No, he was not.
Yes, I was.
Elijah,
I
I
was-
was in the hospital for 2 weeks.
And I had
the
the-
second miscarriage I had put me in the hospital for 2 weeks. I ended up hemorrhaging, okay? So they had to give me blood transfusions and antibiotics and a
Yeah, it
whole
was
9
just a
yards.
lot, yeah.
You would think that he would be coming up to the hospital to be with me, like
had the
knowing
kids.
everything,
Stop.
knowing everything that was going on. The kids were at school. So that's not an excuse. My daughter was in daycare. My other daughter was in school. He could have came up during the hours that they were in school. But no, he didn't do that. My brother ended up calling him up and cussing him out and telling him he better get up to the hospital with
Mr.
me.
Sims, in 2 weeks, did you
No.
not manage to see your wife?
Nope, I don't recall none of that. And see, this is where the victim and all that craziness comes out. No.
Victim?
She could play that real good, that role. No, you're on.
Why? Why? How is this person alive? How was he not skinned alive up until now by all those people standing behind him? Why does he exist? Of course he wouldn't recall anything, any of those accusations. And look at him, all smiling and whatever. He's so entitled. It makes me want to play darts with his damn face. And guess what? Guess what he says next? He accused her of playing the victim. Like what? How? Judge Toller has a tolerance for this type of people. Like it's mind blowing how she just stands there and is able to hear these things come out of his mouth, because they're not even excuses, to be honest. They're just replies to put her down, and that's crazy. That is crazy, and I'm sorry, but he is just a despicable human being, and I will try my best to not interrupt as much as I did, but seriously, now we need as people to understand that when we marry someone, we marry them out of commitment for them. We marry them out of love for them. We marry them out of respect for them. And that respect, that commitment has to not lose its value. And obviously, if it loses its value, uh, we should be human enough to let those people go and move on with our lives. Not to put them down, not to find them faults, not to do whatever toxic behavior is out there. That is what is called toxic behavior, because there's a whole other story over what is toxic and what's not. And if you want to find out, subscribe to my channel to make a video about that. For now, let's continue.
I don't think it's a role.
No.
I think when you have 2 miscarriages, two
I was
bouts
there.
of stomach cancer,
But
that's...
no, I'm there. Most of the time, I'm there. I'm
are
the
not
only one
there
that's
for me.
there. Because she doesn't have no family, and if it's not me, it's anybody out of my family that's around to support her. Not even her own blood family. So I don't understand when she's coming with all this stuff.
So
I'm
you
never
went
there.
to the hospital
Oh,
to see her?
yes. I've been in. I
He
would bring
went
the
to the
kids.
hospital one time for the 2 weeks
No,
that I was there.
no.
One time. The
No.
second time he came was when I was getting discharged with his cousin for his cousin to bring me home.
No, but I always had the kids, too. And I would bring the kids up there to see
Yeah,
her.
okay.
Jesus, can't you see all you're doing as a... I'm not saying as a man anymore. I'm saying as a person. This is basically a plea, my plea to you as a person, to just stop making excuses. It truly doesn't matter whether you're taking the kids or not from school, because you could have hired someone for the day to do that. You could have entrusted a relative to take care of that. You should have been there at the hospital to support the soul that you marry. You marry a soul. You do not marry a body. You do not marry a physical person. You marry a soul if you marry. That's what people nowadays do not understand, especially in the younger generations. They think that it's all about, that sexual attraction and whatever, but it's really not. And we have to understand that one way or another. And this man hasn't understood that even in, I don't know how old is he, but he's old. He's old enough to have, he should have understood that by now. And coming up, Judge Lintorer is begging this man to try and give her a reason to like him. But as you're going to see, he's just coming up short.
Begging you, Mr. Sims, give me a reason to like you. Say something.
No.
Give me something. What you've done for her, how you...
She
something.
says, Your Honor, she says selfishness. No, listen. When I get paid, I let her do what she wants. She gets money. I buy whatever she wants. She never has. Oh, I don't have clothes.
When's
I don't
the
have
last time
this.
you done all of that for me?
When I let you get the card to go on there, Amazon or whatever you was on, you got all these lingeries and all these outfits. You
With
wore them
my
probably for a
tax
month.
money.
You wore it for about a month. That was it. The car, I just bought her a car.
Is he a good provider?
To a certain degree, yes. But then to another degree, no, because majority of the time he will spend his money on himself, like his Xbox or his video games or his drinking,
Well,
like
what do you spend? What do
alcohol
you spend the money
every
I
day.
give to you
Mr.
for?
Sims,
Oh,
please.
so
I end up getting like Social Security disability for myself. And with that money, I'm the one paying for the rent, the bills, and the household items. And he will
Does she
help out.
pay the bills with her Social Security or SSI?
listen, her $700 to my $2,000 a month I make. I don't. My 2,000 goes into the house.
1300 and that's like another thing. You're always downgrading me, talking about like, oh, I make more money than you.
And because I pay for everything, and you always ungrateful.
Yeah,
You always want,
how do you
you don't
pay
do
for
this.
everything?
Ugh.
What do you mean she was ungrateful? How did she demonstrate that she was ungrateful?
Because whenever I do it, like I pay Renison every week or whatever, it's never, oh, babe, thank you. Oh, this is just mine. Oh, you got the TV. The TV's paid for. My TV. Just like when I got the car, my car. Everything is my, and it's coming out of my pockets.
Why shouldn't it be my TV
so
when you
everything
broke
is hers.
my TV and had to replace it? Like you
My.
punched my
Her
TV.
kids need anything, I provide for everybody in the house.
He does not buy stuff for my daughters like he does for his kids. That's not true.
His kids, well, I got the kids with you, the two boys.
You got, yeah, the two boys.
And my daughter, what? She gets child support taken out. So
Well, in your paperwork, you said, I admit that I am selfish when it comes to money. I know I need to work on it, but I don't deny it.
Well,
yes, I do buy myself games. I work hard for my money so I can splurge on things I want. That's what you said.
after the bills and stuff are paid, why can't I?
He only
Let's stop for a second, because I need a hot minute to process this shitty mentality that this man has. To think that providing for someone is only providing financially, that's crazy. And to think that you have somehow a right to monopolize everything financially, that's another crazy fact. Also, people tend to think nowadays, like this man, that only money matters. And that is true to some extent, that money matters. But when you enter a relationship, you should not be money focused, you should be feelings focused, you should be human connection focused. Is the person behind, is the person in front of you the person that you imagine yourself with? Is the person in front of you able to support your needs, able to meet you halfway in times of conflict? That's what you should be focused on, not on whether they can provide for you financially or not. Because to be frank, you have to that point where you have met that person, you're being able to provide for yourself financially. So let's see what Judge Toller has to say from now on.
pays the rent-a-center bill every week, Your Honor. That's
So-
it.
Who
That's,
pays the rent?
She
I
does.
do.
She pays the
Who
rent.
pays the gas and the light bill?
That's
I
coming
do.
from me.
I
let you hold my card, so it's coming from somewhere.
I
you
do.
can't pay all. Your Honor, how does now? If you add up all these bills and her Social Security, if you look at 777, you can't pay how can you pay? The rent is 750. So how are you paying all this other stuff with no money?
So you are contributing.
Of course.
he contributes to himself. That's it.
Oh, I know what's happening here. I understand where he does contribute some, but he's all about him
That's
before
why
he's
I
about
said
anybody
to a certain
else.
No.
degree. To
No.
a certain
No,
degree,
you know,
he
I get
does.
it.
Oh
I've been
no,
here
Your
listening
Honor,
to
no, no.
Been here listening to you.
I hold the fort down. I like to think I hold the fort down.
You don't, because your wife wants to leave. And if you were holding your fort down, if you were being the man, if you were being the solid center of your house, if you were being a stand-up guy, a woman who's in chemotherapy for cancer wouldn't want to leave.
Yes, it's probably because I don't express my feelings and emotions to her like I'm supposed to.
It's a bit more than that. And the fact that you don't see it is sad.
After all that's happened in court in this case, I hope with all I've got that the judge is going to get his ass out of this court, and that she's going to tell this woman to run for her life, to make her life count with someone who knows to appreciate her besides her. Not this excuse of a person. I'm sorry that I have to say that, but I have to, because many people nowadays tend to ignore these traits, and especially in her case, when there are health issues involved, they tend to be more complacent about it because they feel that they would be alone, but you are not alone. You have to understand that you are not alone. You'll always have someone out there, even if it's a friend, it's an online friend, even if it's a community support group. There are people like-minded that will be able to help you throughout your journey, not to be stuck with a man that finds your cancer disgusting. That's low. That's low, and that shows lack of self-esteem, and you should not have any of that. Let's hear the judge's ruling.
Sims, you are a beautiful, strong woman.
Thank
And
you.
you're gonna be fine. No matter what he does, you're gonna be okay.
Thank you.
You're intelligent, you're a solid person, and I got a lot of respect for you. And I wish the best for you in your current fight with this cancer. I want you to whoop its ass. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Just whoop it. I got a nephew. We call him 3-Pete because he beat it 3 times. So, you know, just go in there and work it out, Mr. Sims. I'm begging you to be a better man.
I hear
She's
you.
got children. She's got stress. She's got cancer. And she has no care and no love. And you stood over there while she was crying and never looked, didn't bother you, didn't give her any, like, wow, that's my wife, that's my woman, that's the mother of some of my kids. And you gave her, you didn't even glance at her because you're all about you. And you got to get off that constant you button and think about her. Sims, you are a beautiful, strong woman.
Thank
And
you.
you're going to be fine. No matter what he does, you're going to be okay.
Thank you.
You're intelligent, you're a solid person, and I got a lot of respect for you. And I wish the best for you in your current fight with this cancer. I want you to whoop its ass. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Just whoop it. Your children are only as stable as the mother that holds them. Now, she needs to be stable, and you're the man that has to deliver. You got to stop drinking and throwing stuff down the toilet and telling her you're going to leave her and flirting with other women and act like you've got some sense. Man up a little bit. Any 2-year-old can be selfish. 2-year-olds say me all of the time. You're only a man when you can put me second and put somebody else first. Why don't you try it?
Yes.
God bless you. No matter what happens, you keep it stepping, you keep it moving, you will be fine. This matter is adjourned. Be a better man.